Well, Neil, we're here, transfer deadline day. You've got Macaulay done. You must be really pleased with that.
Yes, absolutely delighted. We've planned to sign 3, maybe 4 players during the window. Obviously, we're now on the last day. We brought in 2 centre forwards and a fullback, which I thought was absolutely paramount as well. So we're just sort of that one question mark on what that final plan might be if somebody comes in before deadline. But Macaulay coming in was key for us as well. He's a versatile centre forward, adds something different to what we've got in the building. With no Fajiri, no Gassan, it was important that I felt we had a different option to what Lyle gives us and what Elias gives us, and Soleil at times when he can play up there. Macaulay has got pedigree at all levels. He's got a proven goal scoring record at levels as well. He's a forward running channel runner that can also compete very, very well physically and aerially. So I think he complements Lyle and Elias really, really well to give us a trio until probably the end of March, when there's a chance for Fajiri and Gassan to be fit.
Yeah, and having signed him over the summer and worked with him for a bit makes, I guess, bringing him in here even easier, in that as much as you can ever know what you're getting, you have a really good idea.
Yeah, obviously Macaulay came into Gillingham late. Pre-season had finished, so he was miles behind everybody else. So it took us a while to get him up to speed naturally. So lads have 6 weeks pre-season. It took us probably 4 weeks to get him up to any sort of, match sharpness and tempo. So I didn't actually work with him that long before I left. But I saw enough qualities in him, in the way he plays the game and his character and his willingness to know that he'll be popular with our fan base, in what I feel is can be good attributes for Cambridge United centre forward. We have to have a mix, but Macaulay presses really well without the ball, competes like you wouldn't believe. So box tick straight away with our fans. And I have worked with him and know an element of what's missing to our play and options. And I'm not just talking about options in the starting 11, I'm talking about off the bench as well as a group. We've got a lot of Saturdays coming up, and it's paramount that we have options. And I felt the games where we've had flexibility and versatility and options over the course of the 90 minutes is the games where we've got the positive results. In the games where have gone slightly against us, Orient certainly, but probably very late on against Oxford as well, even at the weekend against Burton, where I didn't make wholesale changes, probably because I didn't feel like we had viable options for me to really affect the game.
Yeah, and it's not the fault of the players who are there, but if you look behind you and it's not the right mix, there's not a lot that anyone can do. Now, Lyle and Macaulay had I know it's not as straightforward as this, but they had a really good season together for Charlton, so that's quite exciting as well.
Yes, I was aware of that. Like I said, the versatility in the play, the combinations are really important. So we're just talking about certainly 2 number 9s in Lyle and Macaulay, then a different sort of 9. Talked a lot about Elias being, what is he? Is he 9? Is he 10? Is he 9.5? 9.75? Whatever I need him to be, Elias can be. But then you put Jack Lancaster, George Thomas into the equation as well. We've then really got good combinations, which I felt was really, really vital. And try not to get too far ahead, to start thinking about the middle to end of March or April, when the other guys hopefully are going to be back fit with us. But I see real options in the group. I see strength in depth as well in us now as a squad. Georgie Thomas getting a lot closer to fitness as well is really important. We played another sort of bounce game here on Tuesday against a local opponent. We had a 60-minute game, which gave an opportunity for people to gain match minutes again. So just trying to really boost the group to get as much depth as possible. And probably the first time since my first game in charge where I'm going to have disappointed senior players this weekend to be left out of the squad.
Yeah, which is obviously great as a manager, and Macaulay ends up grabbing the headlines, being the striker that you needed. But for James Gibbons coming in as well, how do you see him fitting in with your plans? What do you want from him?
Vital. What Gibbo gives us is knowledge of the level, certainly experience of the level, professionalism and personality. Huge. Already on the training pitch, demanding the people around him calling for the ball, playing with real attitude and tempo, things that I know he's capable of, and references we took. So, was key. I look at Liam Bennett, I think he's a terrific player and a fantastic lad and done brilliantly for us as a football club, and he's just growing in stature all the time, Liam, but he's the only option for me as a right back option in the football club, and that's a big ask for a young player to do that for a whole season on his own, and we've probably in so many ways been very fortunate that he stayed free from injury. So I thought it was important to have competition all over the pitch, and Gibbo sort of adds that, certainly at right back, but also at left back where he's equally as comfortable. He's right footed, yes, but can comfortably play left back. So he had competition there as well, while I was sort of waiting for Harrison to get up to speed.
Does it also give you an option as well? I don't know whether this would be on your mind or not, but with Liam Bennett potentially, whether from the start of a game or in-game, could move further forward and change the dynamic on the right?
Possibly. It's a question that's been put to me before. What do I want from my wide players? Ideally, it's not just about energy and ability to run fast. It's about having the ability to receive the ball in the right areas, to have end product at the right times. Liam's a young man learning the game, so to push him further up the pitch, whether that's a wing back or as a winger, certainly wouldn't rule it out. But why Liam's playing so well and going so well, then you don't always want to knock people out of the lane and their concentration.
So we've got 8 or 9 hours of the window left. You've still got a couple of irons in the fire. Then something else could happen. You could get your fourth player still.
Yeah, we're busy searching. Gibbons Macaulay got agreed yesterday, and we thought. I went to bed last night happy that I thought we had 4. By the time I went to sleep, we had 3. So I didn't go to sleep quite as quick as I thought I would. So really busy now. Recruitment guys are in today. Been here all day since early this morning, trying to find the fourth, an attacking player. Be an attacking player, be a wide player. Conscious to add strength again to the group. But if it doesn't materialise, then I'm really happy with where we're at. But again, be really clear for everybody. We're searching for that extra player, but it has to be the right one. I'm not going to damage where I think the group's at today just for the sake of it with just another number. It's not about that. It's about finding the right combinations, and I'm really, really pleased with where we're at. Really pleased to sign 2 experienced strikers and a versatile fullback. That all 3 had really good competition and strength to the group. So if we can add a 4th, it would be the perfect window. So let's see what the future holds in the next few hours.
And you mentioned George Thomas. Is it a case of, has he got a chance for this weekend or still a little longer?
No, George has trained this week, so he's touch wood, stays that way over the course of the next 24 hours. He's available for the weekend.
And with Shrewsbury, they've got I was going to say new manager a returning manager in Paul Hurst, and we had the perfect start last weekend. Yeah,
good performance, good result. New manager bounce, we know what that's like. I know Hurst in, Chris Doyle, the assistant. It goes back to the club he knows. Changed last week for a game. What they could do moving forward, who knows? But different opponent. Definitely. Just simple fact is they've got a new manager bounce, and they changed shape last week. So straight away he's adjusted. What we face Saturday, be our best guess. But we know, especially with the quality we've added in the window, especially with George Thomas being back fit, we're going to be a different animal now moving forward. And we've got options in the group, so really focusing about us now.
Yeah, and you mentioned last week about hooking it all together. We've seen the strong defensive play, the build-up play, particularly first half last weekend was really good. If you can put the cherry on top of the cake and get some goals, you were saying Shrewsbury's your target to make it all happen. Yeah,
that's it. That's again talking about adding Gibbo on Tuesday afternoon with Macaulay today. Is there going to be another one we have to see? So, it's not an overnight fix, or we're just going to be free-flowing football team that can also keep clean sheets and win 8 games on the spin. It'd be lovely, but it does take time. But that's the importance of having experienced players at times that can come in and adjust. and those right combinations to try and pick the best pairings for each games. Really looking forward to this weekend. Really looking forward to going in to have an opportunity to in-game to be able to make, whether it's shape changes or personnel changes.
So when we were talking about the away form, the away record the other day, actually looking through League One, and I suspect you already knew this, but bottom half of the table, I think aside from Exeter, nobody's won more than 3 games on the road. So it shows, doesn't it, just that general difficulty of going away from home and getting the wins.
It does. It's a good league. It's a competitive league. Sometimes it could be a mentality as well as an ability. I'm still relatively new to away games here with the group, so I'm learning all the time about the away games. I just look at it and think Exeter was a really solid point. We didn't play great, but it was a really solid point, really good clean sheet, and showed a real maturity and aggressive nature to our play. Cheltenham were fantastic, and probably deserved to win even with a last-minute equaliser. Oxford certainly deserved to win and played really, really well. So I've seen some really strong performances. We just need to turn that into results. But that is the tough nature of the league, that the teams at the bottom, they don't always win away from home. I want to change that. I want us to be as competitive as we are at home, as difficult as we are to play against at home. I want us to be that for 90 minutes on the road as well.
Cool, that's great from me.
Just one from me, Neil. Did Harrison Dunk play on Tuesday, and is this weekend too soon for him still? Is it still just being careful with him and making sure there's no setbacks?
Yeah, Harrison's now played 45 minutes and 60 minutes, but he's only trained for a few weeks, and he's on very limited training at the moment, schedules, so we're just managing his loads. So it's still too soon for Harrison. I don't want to put a date on him because he's been out for so long and he's had a tough period. That I don't want any expectation put on his shoulders. He's a brilliant pro. He's a great lad. He's brilliant to have around the place. I love him at home games, being in the change room around the lads, and would like to see more of that. But at the moment, let's just go one step at a time. So no time scales on him, but certainly not for this weekend.